Hey y'all, it's Hannah.
And Jeremy.
And on last week's video, we set sail to Alaska. We showed you all around the Crown Princess and talked about the port changes and the issue the Crown is facing this season. This week, we pull into the first port of Juneau and finally stepped foot in Alaska, our 22nd state. As we mentioned last week, our time in Juneau was reduced by about half, so many excursions were canceled or had their trips shortened. So we were going to get off at the port and see what options we had. We knew we definitely wanted to see the Mendenhall Glacier and ride the Mount Roberts Tram.
The captain had announced that we made good time and arrived an hour earlier than expected, so we booked our tickets on the Glacier Express and took the bus out to the glacier. This was honestly the best way to do it, because if you book a tour with set times, your time is limited and you might not be able to complete the hike.
Once we get past all the diamond stores and everything else here, the old part of town, folks, is straight ahead. The Red Dog Saloon stays open year-round. That's one of the most unique places in town.
The Mendenhall Glacier is over 12 miles long and 1.5 miles wide at the face of it. The glacier has retreated over 1 mile since the 1920s, creating the lake seen from the visitor center. The glacier ice appears blue because over the years, snowfall has compacted, squeezing the air out and creating large ice crystals that reflect the blue light. The longer the path light travels in the ice, the more blue it appears.
Despite the rainy weather, we persisted and completed the 2-mile hike to Nugget Falls. The falls were pretty powerful and thunderous, and absolutely worth suffering through the weather. It's a really good thing we had those boots and rain jackets. When we got back to the port area in Juneau, we boarded the Mount Roberts tram.
We are on our way up to the Shaw Hit. Shaw Hit is a Tlingit word for the mountain house. We are ascending 1,800 feet above sea level on the only aerial tramway here in southeast Alaska.
The tram uses the cable system commonly found in the European Alps, and the ride lasts 6 minutes each way and takes you over 1,800 feet above the port to the edge of the Alaskan rainforest on the top of the mountain.
There are hiking trails at the top, with what I'm sure are gorgeous views. However, our views were of mostly fog. We were both pretty tired by this point and didn't do too much exploring, but we definitely enjoyed the unique perspective of the port.
On our way back to the ship, I unfortunately started feeling very run down, more than just from a day of being cold and wet.
Yeah, right?
It's very cold.
You're cold, you're suffering. Very foggy, very rainy, very cold.
Next week, we will talk about what it's like to test positive on a cruise and how that definitely changed the rest of our trip to Alaska.
So we are on our cruise to Alaska, and I got COVID. First time that I've gotten it. Which,
Woo! Winner!
yeah, which I think is sort of ironic that I picked the most inconvenient time.